everybody, and welcome back to the Sparks of Ingenuity podcast. I am your host, Genevieve Noel. Thank you for joining me here today. I really appreciate all of your continued support. I've really enjoyed doing this podcast so far, and I would love to take questions or talk about a certain topic. Go and check me out on Instagram to put in your requests for topics or other things you might like to hear. Otherwise, you can always comment on my YouTube videos. I take comments anywhere you can find to contact me. DM me if you feel so inclined. Otherwise, today I'm talking about productivity. Now, this doesn't just apply to life or writing or anything in specific. It just applies to everything. And I have felt really productive the past couple of days, and I sound kind of stuffy at the moment simply because I decided to clean our entire house yesterday. This is where my motivation came in, and as I'm cleaning, I'm kicking up a ton of dust. And of course, I have a dust allergy. And day 2 of my nose running like a freaking faucet, no matter where I am. And I just want the running to be done. I want it to stop. But anyway, productivity. As I mentioned, cleaned the entire house, and it felt so good, so productive, so full. Yeah, I felt complete. Even though it was just such a simple task to accomplish. I feel like I've been able to do so much with my life, and when I feel productive like that, I feel like I can take on the world. And for a normal person, that just means oh sweet, now I can get everything done that I was hoping to get done, or as much of it as possible until my motivation runs out. But no, I am not a normal person. I get these bits of motivation and I'm like, sweet, I could do stuff I already have to take care of, or I could take on 12 other tasks and make myself super stressed out when I don't have any motivation. I picked that one because, that's me. And the key example of this is I was talking on Sunday with my husband about what was going on for the following week. And he's a day-by-day kind of person. So I was just really trying to enforce with him what was happening the next day. But I was like, this week is busy. I need you to know this now because I'm gonna be stressed out. I was like, this week is so busy. We have something going on every day. And not that I dislike that. It's nice to do things because when we were in Texas for a couple of months and, we didn't know anyone. We didn't go anywhere. I was pregnant. My husband worked from home. I felt like crap. It was so hot. We didn't really do much. And it was nice to be at home and not do anything. But at the same time, it's nice to see people and do things with them, and it's just nice to be out and about. So, I'm not necessarily complaining. It's just that's a prime example of, I feel good. I feel like I could get stuff done. And instead of doing the tasks I already have, I'm like, okay, let's do these 12 other tasks too. Although yesterday I was really proud of myself because I have this running to-do list, and I'm a type of person who I occasionally get very high anxiety. And I would not say that I have consistent anxiety by any means. I just get really anxious at times, which I think, everyone feels that way. But to combat that, and with my pregnancy anxiety especially, I'm a list person. I figure out, okay, what is it that I was thinking about that popped in my head? What happened in my brain that made me feel anxious? Once I identify it, usually the feeling diminishes or goes away, and I'm fine. But if I can't get it to go away after figuring out, okay, this is why I'm anxious, then I'm like, okay, now I need to make a list. I'm also a really forgetful person, so, those two things kind of go hand in hand, but this solution that I have is pretty productive for accomplishing both, or for dealing with both, I guess you could say. Anyway, so I make lists, and I'm like, this is what I need to do, or this is what's coming up, hence my weekly calendar that I try to go over with my husband, so I know, okay, everything is in order, and I feel organized, and if I can just do it, if I try to do it a month out, it's always a mess, and then I feel overwhelmed. But if I found if I do a week at a time, as long as nothing gets sprung on me last minute, not that I can't change plans last minute, but hey, we have this plan this day, and then suddenly we have other plans that no one told me about or something. As long as that doesn't happen, I'm pretty good. So anyway, I have a running to-do list, and I have it separated into, like, categories. Things that are, like, long-term, like, it won't happen for a little while, but I need to make sure I don't forget it. And then I've got things that, like, have been sitting there that are past due, that I'm trying to debate whether or not I should actually do them, because it's been so long since they should have been done that it's not really going to hurt me if I don't do them, but I'm not decided if I should or not, because I feel like at this point it'd just be awkward. And then I have a list of things that, like, I want to do today if I have the time. And then I have this other list of just, like, running, like, oh, I have nothing to do right now. These are things that I could be doing because they're kind of, like, ongoing. So, like, editing YouTube videos, filming, writing my books, any of that kind of stuff is on that list. Just because then if I'm like, oh, man, I don't know what to do right now, or if I have, like, a feeling of boredom, I can just go, oh, I could record a podcast, or I could go and write a chapter of a book, or I could go and, like, I have options. And then as I remind myself of those options, then I'm like, oh, but I have these other things to do too, and I pick something and I'm productive. It doesn't always work out, but that's the theory anyway. So on this running to-do list, I've had a lot of things. So many things. I got this rock for Christmas. It's a geode, right? And you have to break it open. It's a break your own geode, whatever. I tried. I did exactly what the directions said, after having it for like 2 months, mind you. And it wasn't because I didn't want to break the geode. It's just, I forgot. I had a newborn. My brain was not processing. So I just didn't have the time. I didn't think about it. And then, I prepared. I did exactly what the directions said, and it didn't break. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do with this. So I kind of put it in a closet, and I left it there for a little while. Well, yesterday I was like, screw it, I'm just going to take this rock outside and chuck it on the ground and hope that it breaks. I threw it twice, and on the second time it broke. I was hitting that thing with a hammer prior to this. A hammer! Oh, man. But anyway, so, I broke this rock. I shampooed our carpets. I cleaned everything. I did 6 loads of laundry. I was feeling good. I got so much stuff done, and my to-do list started to dwindle. But what always happens is, on days when I mark off, 5 things on my to-do list, I can think of, 7 more that need to be added that are, small little things, but they're going to get added to that list because that's the type of person that I am. It just bothers me. But anyway, so I'm feeling so productive yesterday that I'm thinking about, in college when I was cleaning, my apartment, when I lived in an apartment for, a whole year when I was in college. Which, interesting story, I lived with my parents for a year technically 2 of my college years. I lived with my grandparents for a year, and then I lived in an apartment with some roommates for a year. Then, after that, I graduated, so that kind of ends there. But I'm like, man, I could do as good of a job cleaning my whole apartment in, way less time and have way more energy when I was done with it. And, I know part of that is due to having a nursing infant. I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, man, it was so nice. We think that we're tired when we're in high school and college until we get to the next step, and then we realize, hindsight's 20/20. But, seriously, you get there, and then you're like, wow, I had so much energy. And I don't even think it's, the whole baby thing that's really got my energy low. I think it's just, sedentary life of being an adult, which I'm gonna put out there, maybe unpopular opinion, is kind of boring. Being an adult is not that exciting. It's that stage between, the end of high school when you have a car and a job and you can do what you want, and the end of college before you have to go off into the adult world. That is, that's prime time right there. Golden hours. And I love my son, and I love being married. I love my house. I love my family. I'm so excited to, move forward in life, too. It's there's a little bit of, man, the day-to-day of being an adult is really boring. And, disagree with me if you like on that, but I just really feel that way. And so I'm thinking about this whole thing. It's going through my head, and my brother is heading into 11th grade. Well, I don't know if this is a thing in every state, but there's a program in Minnesota called PSEO. What it is post-secondary enrollment option. And essentially, it's just college for high school students for free, which is golden. And you can basically, if you're planning on going to college anyway, if you're a college-bound student, you basically can get into it. There's lots of ways in, and different colleges have different rules and everything. But anyway, so my brother, he's the fourth kid in my family, so my third sibling. And I'm just like, you may not want to do this. He's not shy, he's just quiet. And I'm like, you may not want to do this. It may not be your thing. It may be out of your comfort zone, whatever. But I would recommend it because then, it's free. You can decide if you actually want to go to college or if you just want to live a college lifestyle or whatever. And it doubles for high school and college. So there's really no loss to doing this as long as you do well. And I was like, but, when I was in PSEO, which I did for a year, hence why 2 of my college years, because one was in high school. Of course, I live with my parents. But anyway, so I'm like, I know this deadline's probably coming up because when I was in PCO, it was June 1st. It's May 20th or something like that today. So I'm like, yeah, okay, we should, talk about this at the very least so that you can apply. And then, if you have to wait a semester or decide you don't want to do it, no harm, no foul. And so I convinced him into doing this. And I start talking about man, I loved when I was in PSEO because I was working and I was in college and I was in, I took 4 classes, I think, my first semester, 5 or 6 my second semester. And, I had my own car so I could drive, and there was so much freedom because you had to be gone so much of the time. And I had so much more financial freedom because I wasn't paying for my living. I was paying for my gas, any food I ate out, and then my car insurance, and my phone at that point too. But beyond that, I wasn't paying living expenses because I was still in high school. So I was like, sweet, yeah, I got some bills to pay, but it's next to nothing. And I'm just saving money, and this is great. And we had so much freedom just because it was yeah, my parents wanted me home at night, but I just went to work and I did closing shifts, and then I got up whenever I wanted, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go to campus early because I need to work on homework. Did I work on homework? No. But did I get into trouble? No. It was just, I just went. I parked off campus and I had to walk, so I had to get there 2 hours early anyway, so it was well, who cares, man? It was just so much freedom and so enjoyable that I was like, you gotta at least try it. I would recommend to everyone that you try it at least once. Do 1 semester, see how you like it. It'll also give you a really great grip on what college will be like for your first couple of years and whether or not you actually want to go, because he's not sure he wants to go. So I convinced him to do this. I help him sign up. I'm so excited about it, and I'm constantly talking to him man, it's going to be great. You can do all of these things, and if you don't want to, don't feel any pressure. I'm not trying to pressure you. I had such a good experience. I really wanted to share that with you, and I really feel like you'd enjoy it and whatever. And I drop him off at my parents' house, and I was like, man, I enjoyed certain things about college so much that I know at the time I really hated, and I didn't hate all of it. I want it to be where I am now, but with the ability to do the things I did in college, if that makes sense. So if I want to stay up until 2 a.m. and then go to an exam at 8 a.m., sure. If I want to stay up really late, even though we didn't really go out because I graduated before I turned 21, so I couldn't go to bars in college. I couldn't do that. So we just did stuff at home. We played games and we watched TV and we just hung out. But the energy levels that I had, even though I felt tired, I still could actually wake up and go to class and not be late for work and all this stuff that I just wish I could do now. I just wish that I had the ability to get out of bed and do it and not sleep through those hours. Yeah, well, it was a time. But anyway, tell me about your college stories. I'd love to hear them. Follow me on Instagram. Share with me. There'll be an ask box there. Otherwise, we will see you next time.